Again, the reigning champs beat the leaders in the Eastern Conference by 1. It could not have been closer. Should we start, Sean, with the game winner by Jrue or with the lack of contact call there down the stretch?
Let him play. You're going to start making those calls. I remember when the Miami Heat had Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, Pat Riley coaching. They're not going to make that call. There was much more physical contact back then than now. Let him play. And the bottom line is the Bucks pulled it out with great plays by their best players. Giannis is right on the ball, okay? You're not going to call that. I think Jimmy Butler would probably even say, hey, I'm a tough guy.
Yes.
You know, you're not going to make that call. If you made that call on me, I would be upset, right? Jimmy Butler would say that. He's a tough guy. He respects hard play. And I just don't think it was just egregious.
There you go, Sean. Look at this angle right here.
Yeah. He's on the ball. He's playing.
Coming down a little off balance a little bit.
Yeah, he's off balance.
Okay, so you agree.
Yeah, I think when Spo watches the tape, he'll calm down a little bit more. In the moment, yes, you wanted to, support your players from that angle, from where you are. It looked like he got hit. But that second angle, you can see Jimmy more off balance. Yes, Giannis may rub him a little bit, but not warrant a call, in our opinion. And back with Sean's going back in the 90s, they would have laughed if you'd have called with that little minimal contact.
It's interesting, though, because Smitty and Sam, sitting here moments ago, strongly disagreed with each of you.
Yeah, and I think when Smitty and Sam go back and look at the tape again, if they saw the angle, they know daggone well we wouldn't have got that call back in the 90s. We wouldn't have got that call.
How much stock, though, do you put into a regular season matchup like this between a couple of the teams that are expected to contend in the conference?
Well, to your point, I think it's big because Milwaukee's trying to figure out how do we get that rhythm and mojo we had last year at this time. P.J. Tucker, ironically, tonight is on the other side with Milwaukee, and he was a real important piece on the defensive end, a glue piece. Who's going to be that guy this year? I think Milwaukee's still trying to figure that out. Pat Connaughton's hurt. Bobby Portis is part of the starting lineup. When does George Hill get healthy? Lopez is coming back. So as they still try to figure that out, they're talking to Bud off camera, guys. He's like, how do we get what we had at the end of the season right, like going into the playoffs?
Yeah, and Milwaukee hadn't beat a winning team since Chicago back in January 21st. They went the whole month of February without beating a winning team. Their defense started to slip also a little bit. Obviously, they don't have Brook Lopez, so that hurts. But this team has Giannis, and he's played like an MVP, for the last, really for the whole season. So when you have Giannis, all right, Jrue Holiday, and a couple other, look, I mean, this is the defending champions. It's a long season, right? And so you're going to go through these little valleys and everything like that. At least that's what we'll say about Milwaukee right now. At the end, they're going to be right there. I think the big question is, how much do they value getting first place in the East and getting that home court advantage? Does it really mean that much where you're going to start playing your veteran players, down the stretch, heavy minutes? I don't know. That's also a question for a lot of teams in the East because it's so compacted, so many good teams there. I really want to know the strategy, 3D, the last couple weeks of the season.
Man,
and they may see Brooklyn sitting there at the 7th or 8th spot.
Brooklyn with KD coming back, come on.
Do you really want to finish first?
Knowing that likely you won't, in the East, have home court advantage come finals anyway.
We've talked about it the last, few months. Until Brooklyn, the city ordinance, all thing with COVID, until they figure out what that is, if you're Brooklyn, you want Game 7 to be on the road so Kyrie can be there. But then again, if you're Miami or Chicago, you're like, wait a minute. Do I want to be 1-2 knowing that KD's coming back ready to go?
Yeah. Do I want to work all season long?
As Ben Simmons still figures out his health with his leg, that's still KD. In case we forgot, they were 1-2 all season long until KD went down with MCL injury. So if I'm too, I'm not want to fool with no KD coming back with a chip on his shoulder.
What?